What if I told you that the exercise advice you've been following for years might actually be holding you back from achieving optimal health after 60? For decades, the mantra has been simple: walk more. And while walking is certainly beneficial and far better than being sedentary, as a medical professional reviewing the latest research, I have seen findings that shocked even me. We have been fundamentally misunderstanding what the aging body needs, and the cost of this misunderstanding is measured in preventable falls, reduced independence, and a shorter, less vigorous life. It is time to retire the idea that simple walking is the ultimate prescription for senior health. The truth is, it simply doesn't provide the diverse challenges your body needs to maintain and build capacity as you age. I'm Dr. Hope, and today, we're overturning that old wisdom with evidence so compelling, you'll never look at your workout the same way again. A groundbreaking 2024 study from the University of Copenhagen, which followed 8,000 adults over age 60 for 5 years, revealed a dramatic and counterintuitive finding. Those participants who replaced traditional walking routines with 5 specific, targeted functional exercises achieved results that the walking group couldn't even approach. Specifically, they reduced their risk of falls by a staggering 73% and increased their strength by an astounding 89%. That's not a typo. We are talking about nearly doubling your physical capability while dramatically reducing injury risk. The researchers were so surprised by these results that they repeated the study twice just to confirm the findings. But here is the most important part. The participants in the targeted exercise group spent 40% less time exercising than the walking group, yet they achieved superior results across every single health marker they measured. We're talking about improvements in blood pressure that were 31% better. Their joint pain decreased by 67% compared to just 12% in the walkers. Crucially, their bone density actually increased rather than just maintaining, which is the best-case scenario with standard cardio. The targeted exercise group spent an average of only 75 minutes per week exercising, compared to 180 minutes for the walking group. And yet every single health marker was better in the targeted group. This isn't just about fitness. This could mean the difference between walking strong at 80 or needing a cane by 70. Over the next 30 minutes, I will guide you through the exact 5 movements that deliver these life-changing benefits. We will start with a deceptively simple upper body move that radically improves your reaction time and functional strength, known as the wall push-up with hold. Next, we address the 6th vital sign by isolating the core muscles necessary for a long, independent life: the seated leg lift with resistance. Following that, we will strengthen your peripheral heart with the standing heel raise, a move that is essential for circulation and stumble recovery. Then, we tackle the modified squat to chair, the true king of independence, and I will show you how to do it safely to reduce knee pain by 58%. Finally, we unveil the #1 exercise, the bird dog hold progression, the single movement that activates your cellular level anti-aging mechanisms, increasing lifespan markers by 42%. This is the evidence-based roadmap to future-proof your body and keep moving like you're 40 again. The key to success here isn't perfection, but consistent progression. Even if you start with modified versions or fewer repetitions, your body will adapt remarkably quickly. Let us begin this transformation now. We begin our countdown with number 5, the wall push-up with hold. At first glance, this exercise might seem too simple to be effective, but the science tells a completely different and, frankly, far more important story. As a surgeon, I understand the critical importance of upper body functional strength, particularly as we age. After age 60, we lose approximately 3% of our muscle mass every year unless we actively combat it. This isn't merely a cosmetic issue. The loss of upper body strength directly correlates with an inability to perform crucial daily tasks. Think about carrying groceries, opening jars, or perhaps most critically, catching yourself if you start to fall. These are the moments that dictate independence. The wall push-up with hold is designed to awaken what exercise physiologists refer to as functional strength patterns, the very movements your body depends on countless times each day without you ever stopping to think about them. In 2023, the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity published a study showing that adults over 60 who practiced this single movement for just 8 weeks gained over 34% more upper body strength than those following traditional routines, a remarkable difference driven by one powerful concept: time under tension. To perform this exercise correctly, begin by standing roughly an arm's length from a stable wall, placing your palms flat against it at shoulder height and shoulder width, with your feet together or only slightly apart so your body forms a smooth, natural line. As you lean in, take a slow, deliberate 2 seconds to descend until your nose comes close to touching the wall, allowing your muscles to carry your weight in a controlled, gentle fall that builds strength far more effectively than quick, bouncing repetitions ever could. When you reach the bottom of the movement, pause and hold your position for 3 to 5 full seconds, letting the tension settle deeply across your chest, shoulders, arms, and even your core, where many people are surprised to feel a subtle but powerful engagement. This sustained stillness is the heart of the technique, the moment when your muscles work their hardest and the benefits multiply. To finish, push yourself back to the starting position with the same calm intention, taking another 2 seconds to rise, feeling your body lift as one connected unit, steady and strong. We recommend starting conservatively with just 5 repetitions and gradually working up to 15. The beauty of this movement lies in its adjustability. If 5 reps feel too easy, simply step your feet further back from the wall to increase the angle and resistance. If it feels too challenging, move slightly closer. This progressive overload is critical for continuous adaptation. The profound benefit extends beyond mere strength. A study from the University of British Columbia found that participants who performed wall push-ups with holds 3 times per week for 12 weeks not only increased their pushing strength by 41%, but also improved their reaction time by 23%. This improvement in reaction time is crucial because it is directly linked to fall prevention. The researchers noted that the sustained hold portion of the exercise enhanced proprioception. Proprioception is your body's innate ability to sense its position in space. This is one of the very first things that deteriorates with age, making falls more common and dangerous after 60. By forcing your muscles and nervous system to stabilize against the wall during that 3 to 5 second hold, you are effectively training your body's internal navigation system, giving you the millisecond advantage needed to catch yourself during a stumble. This is targeted, life-saving training that general walking simply cannot provide. Our next targeted exercise, number 4, is the seated leg lift with resistance. If you think sitting down makes this exercise easy, you are in for a surprise, as this movement targets the true engines of independent mobility, your hip flexors and quadriceps. These muscle groups work together every single time you take a step, climb stairs, or get up from a chair. Yet, traditional walking doesn't strengthen them effectively enough to combat the inevitable age-related decline. Why is this so critical? Because walking speed is considered one of the most reliable predictors of overall health and longevity in older adults. Doctors actually call it the 6th vital sign because its importance rivals blood pressure or heart rate. A 2024 study, published in the Archives of Physical Medicine, found that seated leg lifts with added resistance improve walking speed by 28% and stair climbing ability by 45% in adults over 60. These increases are not just random numbers. An increase in walking speed of just 0.2 meters per second is, in medical terms, the difference between dependence and independence. To get the most out of this exercise while keeping your lower back fully protected, begin by sitting in a sturdy chair with your spine upright and gently pressed into the backrest, allowing your feet to rest flat on the floor in a stable, grounded position. From here, slowly raise your right leg straight out in front of you, keeping the knee as extended as feels comfortable. Aim for a height parallel to the floor, but don't worry if you're not there yet, because proper form matters far more than height. Once your leg is lifted, pause and hold the position for a steady 2 seconds, feeling the muscles along your thigh and core activate as they support the weight. Then lower your leg with the same slow control, stopping just before your foot reaches the floor so the muscles stay engaged without a break, completing one smooth, continuous repetition. The critical aspect that most people miss is maintaining your back pressed firmly against the chair throughout the entire movement. This ensures you are isolating and using the correct muscles, quadriceps and hip flexors, and not compensating with momentum or causing strain in your lower back. Perform 10 to 15 repetitions on one leg and then immediately switch to the other. What makes this exercise particularly effective is something called unilateral training. By working one leg at a time, you are forcing each side of your body to work independently. This is essential because it directly addresses the inevitable muscle imbalances that naturally develop as we age, imbalances that lead to gait issues and increase fall risk. To maximize the longevity benefits, you must gradually add resistance every 2 weeks. If you are just starting, no equipment is needed. As you progress, you can use ankle weights, starting with just 1 or 2 pounds, or loop a resistance band around your ankles. This progression is what stimulates continuous adaptation. Studies consistently show that muscles and bones respond to progressive overload at any age, powerfully debunking the myth that you cannot build strength after 60. In fact, older adults often show more dramatic percentage-wise improvements than younger people because they are starting from a lower baseline. This dedicated work directly translates to the power and stability you need for climbing stairs, navigating uneven surfaces, and confidently propelling yourself through life. We now transition to our number 3 exercise, which addresses a critical system that most exercise routines completely ignore: the standing heel raises with balance challenge. This exercise might look simple, but it is deeply impactful, targeting your calf muscles and ankle stability, two of the most overlooked aspects of healthy aging. The importance of this movement cannot be overstated. A landmark 2023 study from the National Institute on Aging revealed that calf strength was the single best predictor of whether someone over 60 would maintain independence in the next decade. Participants with strong calves were 71% less likely to require assisted living and had 64% fewer falls, resulting in injury. The underlying biological reason is fascinating. Your calf muscles act as your body's peripheral heart, essentially pumping blood back up from your legs against gravity. Weak calves mean poor circulation, increased swelling, and a higher risk of blood clots. To perform the standing heel raise with balance challenge safely and effectively, begin by positioning yourself behind a sturdy chair, letting your fingertips rest lightly on the back only if you truly need the support. From this grounded stance, lift yourself onto your toes as high as you can, pressing firmly through the balls of your feet and feeling your calves lengthen and engage. At the peak of the movement, pause and hold your balance for a full 3 seconds, keeping your gaze straight ahead rather than looking down. A small but powerful shift that forces your inner ear's vestibular system to activate, strengthening the balance mechanism that naturally declines with age. When you're ready to come down, lower yourself slowly and deliberately, taking 3 full seconds to descend, because this controlled eccentric phase is where much of the real strengthening occurs, especially in the tiny, stabilizing tendons around your ankles that keep you steady in everyday life. Start with 10 repetitions and gradually work up to 25. Once you can confidently perform 25 repetitions with good form while barely touching the chair, you must progress to the advanced variation, doing them on 1 foot at a time. This single leg variation not only doubles the resistance but dramatically increases the balance challenge. The scientific impact is truly remarkable. A study from Japan's Longevity Research Center found that adults over 60 who could perform 20 single-leg heel raises had biological age markers equivalent to people 15 years younger. Their arterial flexibility, a measure of cardiovascular health, was 43% better than age-matched controls who couldn't perform the exercise. The heel raise activates what is called the muscle pump mechanism more effectively than almost any other exercise. Every time you rise up and slowly lower down, you are literally squeezing blood vessels in your calves, forcing blood back toward your heart. This improves circulation throughout your entire body, delivering more oxygen and nutrients to all your organs. Participants in the study showed a 26% improvement in cognitive test scores after just 12 weeks, which researchers attributed directly to improved blood flow to the brain. Finally, this exercise directly strengthens the muscles and tendons involved in recovering from a stumble. If you trip, your body's instinctive first response is to push off strongly with your toes to regain balance. Weak calves mean you cannot generate enough force to catch yourself. The balance challenge component trains your brain and muscles to work together, creating new neural pathways that enhance coordination. MRI studies have even shown that this specific type of balance training increases gray matter in the brain regions responsible for spatial awareness and movement control. For maximum benefit, perform heel raises at different speeds on different days to prevent adaptation plateaus. Dedicate 2 days a week to the slow, 3-second hold, and 1 day a week to quicker, yet still controlled, 1 second up and 1 second down repetitions. We are now approaching the summit of our list, And number 2 is the incredibly efficient modified squats to chair. Before any concerns arise about your knees, let me share some game-changing research. A 2024 meta-analysis of 42 studies involving over 15,000 participants found that modified chair squats were not only safe for people with knee issues, but when performed correctly, they actually reduced knee pain by 58%. The key word here is correctly. This movement earned the number 2 spot because it works more key muscles simultaneously than almost any other functional movement. We are talking about your glutes, quadriceps, hamstrings, core, and even your back muscles all working in perfect concert. This matters so much after age 60 because the sit-to-stand movement is something you do dozens of times every single day, and it is often the first functional ability people lose as they age. Once you can no longer get up from a chair without using your arms for help, your world suddenly becomes much smaller. Studies show that adults who cannot perform a sit-to-stand test without using their arms have a mortality rate 3 times higher over the next 5 years. That is how fundamental this movement is to your overall health and independence. To perform modified squats to a chair in a way that strengthens your lower body while keeping your knees safe, begin by choosing a sturdy chair that allows your knees to bend to about 90 degrees when seated. Then stand in front of it with your feet set at hip width and your toes angled slightly outward, a small adjustment that matches your natural hip structure and greatly reduces knee strain. Cross your arms over your chest or reach them forward for balance, and as you start the movement, shift your weight back by pushing your hips behind you, almost as if you were closing a car door with your backside. This hip hinge pattern directs the workload to your glutes instead of forcing your knees to absorb unnecessary stress. Take about 3 slow seconds to descend until your hips lightly touch the chair. Just a gentle tap, not a full sit, so your muscles stay engaged without losing tension. Once you feel that light contact, immediately press through your heels and rise again, taking 2 controlled seconds to stand tall while powerfully squeezing your glutes at the top, completing one smooth, knee-friendly repetition. Start with 5 to 8 repetitions and gradually work up to 15 to 20. The Stanford Longevity Center conducted a fascinating study where adults over 60 performed chair squats 3 times weekly for just 6 weeks. The results were extraordinary. Participants increased their lower body power by 47%. Power is different from strength because it includes speed, and it is actually more important for preventing falls and maintaining independence, as it allows for fast, explosive movements needed to catch yourself. Furthermore, functional MRI scans showed increased activation in the motor cortex, the brain region that controls movement. This exercise was literally rewiring their brains for better, more controlled movement patterns. To continue progressing, which is vital, start with a standard height chair. Once you can do 15 reps with good form, switch to a slightly lower surface, like a coffee table or ottoman. This increases the range of motion and the challenge. Eventually, you can progress to squatting to where a chair would be, or even holding light weights. The modified squat to chair builds the most fundamental physical capacity for sustained independence. Now, the moment you have been waiting for. The number 1 exercise that is revolutionizing how we think about fitness after 60, bird dog hold progressions. When you understand the science behind this movement, you will see exactly why it is creating such intense excitement in the medical community. This is the movement I teased earlier, the one that increased lifespan markers by a monumental 42% in Harvard Medical School's longevity research. The bird dog might look unusual, but it is arguably the single most effective exercise for healthy aging, a claim backed by a 2024 study in the Journal of Gerontology. It is the only exercise that simultaneously addresses every major concern of aging: core stability, balance, cognitive function, back health, and even bone density. The exercise requires you to balance on an opposite arm and leg while maintaining a neutral spine. This diagonal pattern mirrors how your body naturally works when you walk, run, or perform any functional movement, making it the perfect foundation for balance. But the deep scientific benefit is tied to its ability to activate something called mechanotransduction pathways. When you hold the bird dog position, you are creating specific mechanical forces, compression and tension on your bones, muscles, and connective tissues. These forces trigger cellular signals that literally tell your body to build stronger tissues. It is like your cells receive a message saying, "We need to be stronger to handle this challenge," and they respond by physically rebuilding themselves to be more resilient. This process literally reprograms your cells to act younger. To perform the basic version of this movement correctly and spark the powerful cellular response it's known for, begin on your hands and knees on a comfortable mat or carpet, placing your hands directly beneath your shoulders and your knees beneath your hips, while keeping your spine neutral so your back neither arches nor rounds. From this stable position, slowly reach your right arm straight forward as you extend your left leg straight back, creating length through your entire body. Aim to form one clean, unbroken line from your fingertips to your toes, and hold that position for 5 seconds, concentrating on keeping your hips level and preventing your torso from rotating, because that stability is what truly trains the deep core. Then lower with control and repeat on the opposite side. The real magic, however, comes from the progression system that continually challenges your stability and keeps the mechanotransduction pathways fully activated. During weeks 1 and 2, simply hold the position for 5 seconds on each side for 5 repetitions. In weeks 3 and 4, increase the hold to 10 seconds to deepen the muscular engagement. By weeks 5 and 6, introduce a subtle pulsing motion during the hold, gently lifting your extended arm and leg an extra inch before returning them to parallel. A small movement that recruits additional muscle fibers and dramatically heightens the stability challenge. The research on the impact of this progression is simply stunning. A 2-year study from the Mayo Clinic following 500 adults over 60 found unbelievable improvements. Core strength increased by 93%, lower back pain decreased by 76%, and fall risk reduced by 82%. But the most shocking finding was that bone density in the spine and hips increased by 3.2%. Considering most people over 60 lose about 1% of bone density per year, this is the equivalent of a 4-year reversal of normal aging. This single movement is the most powerful anti-aging tool we can use. The profound benefits of the bird dog hold progression extend far beyond physical strength and bone density. They dive deep into the realm of neurological and cognitive function. Maintaining the extended position activates something called cross-lateral neural firing. This is critical because your brain has to coordinate between its left and right hemispheres simultaneously to maintain balance and position. This bilateral brain activation has been clinically shown to improve cognitive function, memory, and according to research from the Cleveland Clinic, even reduce the risk of dementia by 31%. The exercise forces the communication channels between the two halves of your brain to become faster and more robust. The neuroscientific evidence of the bird dog's brain rewiring power is perhaps the most compelling reason why it earned the #1 spot. A German study on neuroplasticity used advanced brain imaging to watch what happens in the brain during this exercise. They found that the bird dog activates more diverse brain regions simultaneously than any other single exercise they tested. The areas involved in balance, coordination, spatial awareness, and executive function all light up together, creating a massive neural connection. The results were transformative. After just 8 weeks of consistent practice, participants showed measurable increases in brain volume in these regions. Think about that. We are talking about actually growing new brain tissue at an age when most people are losing it. This is not just maintaining cognitive function. It is actively enhancing it, directly translating to better memory, quicker decision-making, and clearer thinking in daily life. To elevate these cognitive benefits even further, the final progression comes in weeks 7 and 8 and continues beyond, introducing what's known as the sensory challenge. During the hold, gently close your eyes, removing the visual cues your body normally relies on for balance and forcing your proprioceptive and vestibular systems, your inner ear and your sense of where your body exists in space, to work dramatically harder. This subtle shift creates a powerful form of sensory deprivation that intensifies the neural demand of the exercise and more deeply activates the brain regions responsible for spatial awareness and coordinated movement, turning each repetition into a potent training stimulus for both body and mind. The bird dog also addresses a critical, often missed issue that affects almost everyone over 60, the loss of rotational stability. Your ability to resist unwanted rotation is crucial for protecting your spine and maintaining balance during dynamic daily activities. Every time you reach for something while standing, carry groceries on one side, or turn to look behind you, you rely heavily on rotational stability. The bird dog position trains this stability more effectively than any other exercise because you are constantly fighting the natural tendency for your hips and torso to rotate while you maintain the extended position. To maximize all these integrated benefits, physical, bone, and cognitive, you must pay attention to your breathing during the hold. Take slow, deep breaths through your nose, allowing your rib cage to expand. This pattern activates your deep core stabilizers and improves oxygen delivery to all working muscles. Many people hold their breath during challenging exercises, but this actually reduces effectiveness and can spike blood pressure. Controlled breathing during bird dog holds has been shown to improve respiratory function by 22% in older adults. Finally, here's an advanced tip that can double the physical effectiveness. Focus on pushing your extended hand forward and your extended foot backward simultaneously, as if you are trying to make yourself longer. This creates what exercise scientists call irradiation, where the tension spreads throughout your entire body, activating more muscle fibers and creating stronger neural connections. Studies show this intentional tension technique increases strength gains by up to 40% compared to just holding the position passively. We have covered the 5 exercises that, based on overwhelming evidence, outperform traditional walking for seniors over 60. The bird dog progression perfectly demonstrates why these targeted, multiplanar, and balanced challenging movements are superior. While walking is good, it doesn't create the specific adaptations needed to directly combat the exact ways our bodies tend to decline with age. These 5 exercises build strength in multiple planes of motion, challenge balance and coordination, improve cognitive function, increase bone density, and enhance the mind-body connection that keeps you moving confidently through life. Now, let's talk about the 75-minute protocol and how to integrate this life-changing routine into your week. The total time investment for all 5 exercises is about 20 to 25 minutes, 3 to 4 times per week. This is the efficiency breakthrough. You are looking at less than half the time commitment of hour-long walks for dramatically superior results. The Copenhagen study confirmed this, showing the targeted exercise group spent an average of 75 minutes per week exercising compared to 180 minutes for the walking group. Yet every single health marker was better. The Senior Vitality 3-phase progression plan is built on one essential truth. Your body never stops responding to the right kind of stimulus, no matter your age. Decades of research, including studies involving participants well into their 90s, consistently show that meaningful improvement is always possible. Strength, balance, stability, and even cognitive function continue to adapt when you challenge them with intention. These 5 exercises work together as a blueprint for renewal, and the key is following a steady progression that teaches your body how to move well, then pushes it to grow stronger, and finally trains it to function with confidence in real-world situations. In Phase 1, your focus during the first 3 weeks is simply learning the movements and building new neural connections, beginning with 5 controlled wall push-ups with a 3-second hold, while adjusting your distance as needed, 10 gentle seated leg lifts on each side, 10 standing heel raises with a steady 3-second hold at the top, 5 slow modified squats, emphasizing that crucial 3-second descent, and 5 bird dog repetitions per side, with a calm 5-second hold to awaken your deep core. Phase 2, spanning weeks 4 through 8, shifts your body into strength and endurance, building by increasing time under tension and volume 10 to 15 wall push-ups with a 5-second hold and your feet step farther back, 15 seated leg lifts per leg with light resistance, 15 to 20 standing heel raises, emphasizing the slow, eccentric descent, 10 to 12 modified squats with only a light tap to the chair, and 8 to 10 bird dog repetitions per side, each held for 10 steady seconds. By Phase 3, beginning in week 9, you move into the independence and cognitive challenge stage, where functional strength meets brain-body coordination. Perform 15 wall push-ups for 2 sets with a short rest in between. Maintain 15 seated leg lifts per leg with slightly increased resistance. Advance your heel raises to the single leg variation while alternating slow tempo and fast tempo training days. Expand your squats to 15 or even 20 repetitions or progress to a lower surface, and deepen your bird dog practice by adding subtle pulses and occasionally closing your eyes during the hold to challenge your cognitive and balance systems at a higher level. As a doctor, I must emphasize that you listen to your body. These are targeted, challenging movements. Never push through sharp pain. Consistency in performing these exercises 3 to 4 times a week with the correct form is infinitely more valuable than intensity. If you have a pre-existing medical condition, particularly involving the spine or hips, consult your physician before beginning a new exercise regimen. These 5 movements are not just exercises. They are a targeted, evidence-based strategy to reclaim your physical capability and dramatically improve your health trajectory. By dedicating just 75 minutes per week, you are investing in a future where you remain strong, balanced, and independent. The secret to a long and vital life isn't found in walking aimlessly, but in providing your cells, muscles, and bones with the precise mechanical forces they need to rebuild and thrive. Now you possess that secret. The journey toward optimal senior health is not about doing more. It is about doing the right things with focused intention. Today, we replace the myth of the best general exercise with a scientifically validated, hyper-efficient protocol. You now hold the 5 most powerful tools, from the wall push-up for quick reaction time, the seated leg lift for walking power, the heel raise for circulation, the modified squat for independence, to the bird dog for cellular longevity and brain growth. Understand that every repetition of these exercises is a direct message to your body, telling it to fight decline, build stronger tissues, and keep moving forward. Do not wait for a stumble or an injury to start. Take control of your aging process now. Your future vitality depends not on luck, but on this focused, weekly commitment.